recording. All right, so
we might use this, we might not.
We might use it. So let's just open the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the drop with Frank and Brian. I'm Frank.
I'm Frank.
Oh no, that's Brian.
Welcome to the Grindr TV show.
Welcome to the Grindr TV show because I called it the custom live show in this week's episode, which is actually an episode that we did a couple weeks ago, which I'm starting to finally get the hang of. I'm starting to finally get the hang of like when these things are going to come out and like how I can reference stuff.
Yeah.
So,
how are you doing that? Teach me your ways.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just remembering, I guess.
I know. I'm trying to think of like when did I say the Cruise of the Pines video was going to drop? Because am I going to have it done in time so when the drop comes out?
Well, the episode that's out this week, that was the time before you went to Cruise of the Pines.
Yes.
So this
and then the video I'm editing. Is it?
I don't know. To be honest with you right now, I am so burnt out right now. We're leaving for Last Resort next week, and I have just been going like crazy for the past couple weeks, like trying to get reprints done, trying to get all the inventory straight, as well as customer jobs. So I'm burnt. So if I seem to be a little out of it this episode, Frank had to
work this week.
I actually had to work. Yeah.
That's how I felt the last month. It was like nonstop photo shoots, nonstop video stuff.
Yeah.
Every day I was doing something. And this week, like Monday, I was like, I don't have anything to do today.
Yeah.
And I didn't do anything.
You know, I have those days too sometimes. And I've learned before I used to get a lot of like anxiety about those days, like I'm not doing anything. I'm literally doing nothing today. But now I'm like, I'm gonna start appreciating these days for the days when I am stressed out and like I got so much stuff going on. I could be like, see, that's why you should just took it easy that day. And there's some days I'm just like staring out my window.
Yeah, that's if Chelsea's at work and then I have to be in here.
Yeah.
Like I can't be in the living room.
I spend most of my time in the office as well.
Yeah, whether I'm doing work or not, but it's just nice to like, and it's funny because I say that I don't have anything to do, but I actually have edits to do.
Yeah, well, I guess same, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, but anyways.
Anyway, so do you want to, let's get down to the brass tacks here, okay?
we have a sponsor.
So can we officially say that we have a sponsor?
We can officially say that the drop with Frank and Brian is presented by Switch Suspension.
Awesome. Thank you, Switch Suspension, so much for sponsoring the podcast. We're really excited about it. Switch is a great company. Seth is a great guy. I will only reference Seth because I actually don't know any of the other guys.
I was just going to tell you that you need to start doing a deep dive on Seth.
Yeah. Well, I follow Seth. I follow Switch. I do follow the guy with the green, or used to have the green Suburban. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a super cool dude.
The only reason I say that is because at some point in time, I'd love to get Seth on.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
In person, so whenever you're out here, we could head over there to the shop one day.
Yeah.
Just because he's got so much history in the mini truck world.
Oh, really?
And the level where Switch Suspension is at now, and from where he started, is such an interesting story.
Oh, yeah, well, I definitely want to learn all about that.
Yeah, it is. It's just just from talking to him over the years and things like that.
Hold on. So we're talking about how our brand new presenting sponsor is Switch Suspension. That's so great. So excited about it.
Yeah, it is. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
So look for some giveaways. Look for some merch, because that's going to help get the merch rolling. We got our logo from Vandergraphics. Now we're going to have a presenting sponsor, Switch Suspension. That means that we can dial in some merch soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's really cool how like this thing has like evolved over these. I mean, you gotta think about it. We've only been doing this since May.
Yeah,
and the evolution that it's gone through and all these different stages, and just like I think we're getting better at it too.
Well, I hope so.
Oh well, maybe that's subjective.
And I don't know how you get better at talking. I mean,
I don't know, man. I think I don't know. Like I said, so we said before that you edit the podcast and I review them. So I listen to every single podcast and I hang on every single word. So yeah, I do notice actually that you do get better at talking.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I've definitely noticed it. So hopefully the audience has noticed it too, or maybe they're just like, I don't know.
Well, our numbers are going up, so obviously we're getting more listeners.
Oh, okay. There you go. That's awesome. So something's working.
Something's working. So, what have you been doing?
So I wanted to talk about Dockweiler. I went to Dockweiler last weekend, and as usual, it was a fun time. It was a little bit different this time. We didn't have our usual like road crew with us, and usually for the past couple of years that I've been going, it's been me, Jaime Silva, Ricky from Sunset, and a guy named Michael.
Explain what Dockweiler is.
I should start there. So Dockweiler is a show in Southern California. It's held at Dockweiler State Beach. That's why we call it Dockweiler. It's kind of interesting, this location. It's a beach that's right in front of LAX, like literally in front of LAX. It's like, so all day, like these giant planes are like taking off and like going overhead. So it's kind of cool. Like, you get to check out these giant airplanes taking off. It's hosted by Mini Truck Revival, Victor at Mini Truck Revival. And, you can check out his Instagram, tag it below. He's a great dude. He's got a lot of cool merch. He does like buttons and shirts and pins and all sorts of little things, keychains. And he's been hosting this event. I think this was, and I'm probably going to be wrong, but I think it's his 10th year, 10th or 11th year hosting this event. So he's been doing it a long time. And, like throwing stuff in California is kind of hard. So, he does run into some roadblocks like this year. The park rangers, since it's a state park, you have state rangers, and so you have these rangers rolling through all day, and they took like a special thing against easy ups. So like your easy up has to be on sand. It cannot be in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So there was that issue, but they eventually cooled out, because what happens is just like everything. So just like every time you say like, oh, well, that's a dumb rule or something like that, and it's because something happened before. And just before this event, I could be wrong. I just heard this, that like there was some other event going on in there and people are kind of acting stupid. So they kind of already had like a chip on their shoulder for events. So in the morning, they kind of came in kind of hard, and, we're giving kind of people a hard time, but they cooled out eventually. So it was cool. That wasn't bad.
Yeah, because it's not really an official event, right? It's just a show up and you follow the rules of the park, and you park in this parking space. So it's almost like a meet.
Well, I mean, that's what it is. So like I keep calling it a show. He calls it a meet. It's the Dockweiler Mini Truck Meetup. And that's kind of like cool in its own thing, because it's actually, although it's like a mini truck event, it's not the mini truck events that we're used to. Like it's much different. This mini truck event is like start off as like the static drop guys and the old school guys, like the guys like 720s with dancing beds and convertibles and stuff like that, which they were there in full force. Tons of old school mini trucks, tons of static drop mini trucks. There wasn't a lot of like our kind of mini truck, like, heavily modified body drop kind of stuff. But yeah, so that's where that event kind of originated from, was
because it seems like there's like that whole new mini truck scene. It's probably been 5 or 6 years now, probably even longer. That's emerged, where these young kids or younger people are getting into mini trucks, but it's not like what we're used to.
No, it's not. It's very
stance.
It's a very like early static drop mini truck culture mixed with like the stance culture, which has like a really heavily like Japan influence. Because like I've noticed that too with a lot of these trucks. Like a lot of them have like this like real Japanese aesthetic, And actually the Victor, the guy who puts it on, that's sort of like what he likes. What he's told me before is what he likes. He likes more of that kind of like Japan stance, static kind of thing.
Me and him have had conversations about that, because we're both like, I love the performance side of things and
definitely,
and not necessarily just the bag and body drop stuff, but when you have like the over fenders and you have the performance side, I love that stuff.
I couldn't tell you how many 2JZ swap trucks there were there.
Really?
There were so many. Turboed, non-turboed, like crazy. There was, that's the thing, is like, I don't know if they're all really performance based, but a lot of swaps.
Yeah.
A lot of unique vehicles too. There was this like Datsun camper. Like you remember the Toyota Dolphins? Mm-hmm. So this was like the Datsun version of that. And it's like this fully functional, like old school camper with a pop top. It was so sick. It was probably one of my favorite trucks there.
Has he talked? Well, I guess we're going to have him on the podcast eventually, but has he talked about making it an official thing? Or can you even, do they have official things at Dockweiler State Beach? Or they
No,
just
so that's the thing. So, you know, if you go back and watch like my earlier videos, I explain it that like being in LA County, and especially in the city of Los Angeles, they're like very strict against like cruising and car clubs and like gatherings like that. So he's made it very explicit that when you go to this event, you're there as an individual.
Yeah.
Like you're not there for a show. You're just sort of there at the beach with a bunch of other people who just happen to be there. And it's very like loose, you know, like that's a very like loose thing.
I remember when they cracked down like on Whittier and stuff, but now it seems like Whittier is kicking off again. And then you have like, if you watch some of the exotic channels, like the supercar channels and stuff, those guys have meets in downtown LA and they are going absolutely bonkers.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that like the sideshow stuff? I know that's different, right? I don't know much about that culture.
Yeah, when we actually got a question about some of that, like I don't even know what the Tuquachi or whatever.
I don't know how to pronounce it either.
I don't even know how to pronounce it.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
We'll get into questions in a little bit, but
yeah.
Someone asked about that. Yeah, no, the sideshow stuff is almost like I remember when I was younger and we'd go to the street races in Ontario, and they were super fast cars. It was very dangerous. It was, you know, I saw 2 people die at these street races. Yeah,
damn.
So they were dangerous and they were very fast cars, but it's hard to say like controlled or more safe than like the sideshow stuff where those guys close down intersections and do donuts in the streets.
Yeah, I've seen like a couple of videos. They're pretty wild.
They're really wild and people get really hurt. And
I don't know if I can hang in that.
Nope, I definitely couldn't do it, especially now being older.
Yeah,
maybe
right.
I get it when you're young and you're just like I said, when I was going to the street races, I felt invincible. I was just like, we're doing whatever we want. But we also weren't like in the middle of a city blocking street lights,
right,
doing donuts and running in front of these cars. It was, yes, it was dangerous, but that just seems just a little bit.
Isn't that? I don't know. I mean, the street races were pretty wild. I've been to the street races before, and I remember them being pretty wild. So I don't know.
They were wild, but like people had, I don't want to say people had more common sense, but you didn't run out in the middle of the road when there's a car racing.
Yeah, that's true. That's
these people are literally.
I've seen a lot of videos where they get like just.
I don't know if it's a game, like where they play down in Mexico when they have the Baja 5000 and stuff like that, where it's like you see how close you can get to these vehicles.
Right.
I don't know if that's
I've heard
thing
of that.
with these takeovers where let's see how far I can get close. I can get to this fender. Oh wait, the outside of this car comes and kicks knocks my head into the asphalt.
You know, maybe someone who's more knowledgeable in the comments could like give us a little insight to this.
Yeah. Who's been to the sideshows?
Who's been to those things and tell us about them? We're not gonna go.
But you know, these are just like meets at parking lots and.
Yeah, no, Dockweiler is not that. Dockweiler is strictly a meetup, and it's really fun. It's really cool. Like I said, usually we have like a pretty our usual group to go, but like Jaime and Georgia, they were out at Sparks in the Ozarks last weekend. Michael, I don't know what's going on with him. Michael's got a really cool truck. He listens. Thanks for listening, Michael. He's got like a '97 Tacoma extra cab. Turboed, so it's static on coilovers. Wow. It's pretty nice. It's a pretty nice truck. So yeah, so he didn't make it. So it was me and Ricky from Sunset. We rolled out there.
Did you ride with him?
So I kind of did both. So we met him up, and then like I filmed him from our car. Angie was driving, and we were following him. So then I jumped in his truck, and then I got some interior shots of his truck. So I wanted to do something a little bit different, you know. So every video didn't look exactly the same, because again, that's like one of the challenges we always have. It's like,
and I feel like getting in the vehicle, and I've done that a couple of times in some recent shoots where I get into the vehicle and film them, and it really helps break up the video and get a better feel for it.
Yeah, it gives that's you inspired me to do that. So I did it with Mike Milan first, and then so I'm just going to start doing that more, because it adds, you know, a little something else to the video. Yep. So we roll down. got down to the beach. Now, some people so the beach opens up at 6, and some people were lined up at 2:00 in the morning to get onto the beach because all the prime spot is the last row against the beach on the sand. So everybody's going for those. So yeah, people, and Ricky, we're planning, meeting up, and I was like, yeah, when do you want to meet up and where? I said, it's not going to be 6 a.m., man. we'll figure something out. So we got to the beach about 9, which was cool. It was already packed, so it was kind of hard to find a space, but we eventually found a space. Hung out with Sunset all day. Shout out to Los. Los was out there with his Los from Sunset was out there with his RV, and they were barbecuing and just it was a great time. It was really cool. Yeah. And then so like I said, a lot of different clubs out there. There were a lot of the dancing bed type trucks.
Yeah. And actually, what is that scene actually called?
I don't know. It's like a mini truck lowrider-ish kind of scene. I don't know. I might be starting stuff here, but they're definitely different scenes. They're not what we do for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's okay though.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying there is a difference.
Yeah. There are scenes within scenes. So,
I had this really interesting conversation with some people last night, and I always fail when I meet a new group of people and I'm hanging out with them, and I'm just because everybody's kind of genuinely interested in what we do. So I start talking, and I always forget when I start talking, I'm using terminology and talking about things that make no sense. Yeah. So we were talking and we were talking about Dino's coming up next month, and I see it's a C10 only show, and they're like, what? Like that kind of stuff. And we talk about bagged and bodied and shaved, and it's just
when you were talking to this group of people last night, had you been drinking?
No, I was not. I was not drinking.
Because that's when the funny comes out, when you start trying to, because then you expect these people to really know what you're talking about, and then you're kind of C10s, they're Chevy trucks and we're mini trucks, and then you really try to get into it. You were doing that at your birthday party.
Oh, I was.
I
do remember that, and I was.
Yeah, you were trying to reel me into that conversation. I was like, no. And you're like, what? Really? Yeah, and then you kind of got made. You're like, oh, now you don't want to talk about it.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. That was a good night.
Yeah.
But what I was saying to kind of tie that together was we were talking about the different subgenres of trucks, and I'm like, yeah, it's very intricate. This whole thing, yes, it's custom cars, but it's not really custom cars. It's just mini trucks, and then under mini trucks, and I related it to music. Music has tons of subgenres and different inspirations, and all of these different little pockets of everything, right? And so that's sort of like this. There's all of these little tiny sub pockets, and those trucks are one of those sub pockets where it's they are an old school traditional mini truck, but leans more towards the lowrider side, but still kind of stance, but so it's all mini trucks, it is all mini trucks.
Yeah. There's subgenres of music, subgenres of punk, subgenres of metal, subgenres of hip hop. So it is very much like music.
Right.
But so I just didn't know if there was an actual term for those trucks or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I just call them the bed dancers. It's
basically I call them the dancing bed trucks.
The dancing bed trucks. Yeah, that's what I call them. And so back to talking about the event. So it wasn't just a bunch of Southern California people meeting up at the beach. There were people who came down from NorCal, out from Arizona. One guy came from Oregon.
Wow.
He brought down so he's got this crazy it's an extra cab S10. So you can imagine it's an extra cab S10, and then it has another extra cab on it. So it's got 2 extra cabs.
Wow.
Super long bed tandem. And I think
so. That's more of a custom mini truck.
Yeah, that's more like an old, really
a young
wild
guy or
custom.
young?
Older guy. Okay. He was buddies with Nick at Night. Nick at Night was there with his Nissan, his tandem axle Nissan, and so they were tandem buddying it up, But it was cool. So he drove his motorhome down and put this truck on a trailer and came down. So this event draws people from all over. And then the biggest deal was a club. There was a club there called New Minis. Mm-hmm. And wait, no, is it New Minis? Yes, and they're from NorCal. So they brought.
Well, New Minis is San Diego.
No, okay, maybe I'm getting the name wrong, and someone can correct me on this. There was a club from NorCal, and they're a very old.
Do you know someone with video footage of the show that you could maybe reference?
I don't know. I might know. I have all the video. I could probably go look at it. But I can't remember the name of the club. But they came all the way down from NorCal, and they were there, the ones there at 2:00 in the morning, and they had just these amazing trucks sitting out there. That was pretty cool. I got another funny little story, and it just popped in my head. So the Dockweiler was fun, and we're gonna weave in and out of this whole thing.
Yeah.
So Dockweiler's fun, and then afterwards, Angie and I went up to Hollywood to go see my favorite band, the Venomous Pinks, and it was at this place called the Echo, and it's just like this old club. It's on Sunset, and so we get there, and I'm trying to like bring in my camera because I'm vlogging this whole thing. I'm like making it part of the video, and so I'm trying to bring my camera in there. And then they shut me down because I mean, like, it's like got a big lens on it. It's got a full mic. Like, they're like, no, I know.
That's why you need this.
I know. I ended up doing that. I ended up using a phone, but I was just trying. I know. Whatever. So anyway, the point is he's like, hey man, you can't have that in there. You got to take it back. We parked kind of far away, so I had to like run back down to the car. I realized Angie had already went in, so I said, oh, you go in, I'll go run to the car. I get down to the car. I forget she has the keys, so I got to go back up to the venue, get the keys, and go back down. And I'm just kind of like peeved at this point, and I just want to get in and just settle down.
Yeah.
So I'm like sitting there waiting for Angie to come out to give me the keys, and the bouncer guy goes, and I'm wearing a Forbidden Fantasy shirt, like not just the FFF, like a full Forbidden Fantasy shirt. And he goes, is that a mini truck club? And I'm all like... And it kind of like threw me off because, like, I mean, how often does that happen? I'm all, yeah, it is. Yeah. I said, are you a mini trucker? And he goes, well, no. He's all, but I went to high school, and that's where I'm getting New Minis from. Because he's all, yeah, I went to high school with this club called New Minis. And I was like, no way. I said, I literally just came from an event today where New Minis is at. So It was this really cool, like, little moment. And he's like, yeah. He's like, we're talking about trucks. I'm like showing, my truck and stuff. So it was kind of like this, like, neat little thing that happened.
That's always fun when that happens. I wonder if he was from San Diego and then he knew some of the Forbidden guys down there.
Maybe I should have asked that. But I don't know. Like between like running back and forth to just get into this damn place and just like I'm all sweating.
But it would have been nice to know where like, hey, how do you know of Forbidden Fantasy?
Yeah, I know. Like I was wearing the shirt that is the full logo with the outline of the truck. Mm-hmm. So, but he had to have known. He had to have heard that.
Oh, maybe he saw. Yeah, because the truck doesn't look like a mini truck.
No, it looks like a full size truck. I don't know, but it was cool. Like I was like kind of like, whoa, what? Because that never happens. Because we're such an oddball, type thing.
Yeah. I used to happen in Marina Valley, but Marina Valley is totally different. Because I remember I was in the bathroom one time, going to the restroom. And this guy comes up and he sees my club jacket. He's like, oh, Forbidden Fantasy, man. I used to hang out with you guys back in the day. And then he just like started taking a piss next to me. And then I left.
Back in the day, like, now we're going to sound like just old men. But, like it was more prevalent. Like you could cruise around just in a normal day and you'd see 2 or 3 trucks rolling around, and it's not really the case anymore. But, there's still cool cars out there. Like, I mean, I see cool cars every single day, They're just different. They're like static drops and, like stanced and stuff. So, but yeah. But yeah, Dockweiler, it was a lot of fun. It was really cool.
I've told him that is my goal. One of my goals is Dockweiler when I get my mini truck done.
That's awesome.
Because there's shows that, that are not every show's mini truck specific. Mm-hmm. You have mini truck Nats, Forbidden's pretty mini truck specific. Cruise to the Pines, but there's like that's one of them that's like
when I went the first time, it was like kind of like a little bit of a culture shock because like I had not experienced stuff like that. I had not seen like stripped down static drop mini trucks like that before. And I've told this story before on the podcast, but I'll tell it again because it wasn't at this event. It was at another mini truck revival event. It was the Neptune's Net Cruise. So he basically does 3 events a year. He does the Neptune's Net Cruise, he does the Dockweiler meetup, and he does an end of the year meetup. So the one I'm referring to is the Neptune's Net Cruise. And I remember taking the 4Runner and cruising with everybody, and it was sort of like that scene really didn't know about, kind of like our pocket of it. Mm-hmm. And so the truck's sitting out there, everybody's checking it out, everybody likes it. They're, say it's cool. I'm like, thanks. And talking to Vic, and he's like, yeah, we don't get too many like full custom trucks like this. And I'm like, this thing really isn't full custom, you know. This is just like it's pretty basic. So, but it was that like mixture, like going those first couple years was seeing that mixture, and now it's like it's all kind of melding together. And I don't know, maybe this is true or not, but maybe they're kind of like seeing, you know, like some of those guys are like seeing some of the stuff that we build, and you know, I noticed a lot of those guys are now bagging their trucks.
Yeah, well, they're probably a lot younger too, right?
Oh, much younger. All these dudes are like in their probably mid-20s.
Yeah, so that's what they probably, when you're in your early 20s, you don't have a lot of money.
That's
and
true.
Bagging a mini truck is not cheap.
Right.
So I'm sure they're just going through the motions of like, oh, I want my truck low, so let's bag. You know, imagine like they're going through what we did when we were younger with bagging stuff in their garage and stuff like that. So it's
you're right. That's probably it. It's not anything more than just like the natural progression of
it's
that
just
stuff.
Do you notice though, like back when we were younger, Mini Truckin' Magazine is what connected all of us from the East Coast to the West Coast. That's what connected all of us. Now there's no connection, so that's scene
true.
is not connected to the mini truck scene. So I wonder if they even know like what's Mini Truckin' National to them. They even that circuit of shows like Slam Fest, Battle in Bama, the shows that mini truckers go to all over our country, the mini truckers we know. I wonder if those guys even know about those shows.
I would have to assume so because yeah, you're right. Like that magazine kind of connected everything, but now social media does the same thing, probably better.
Yeah, but the problem with this is there was one Mini Truckin' Magazine. There are thousands of Instagram pages.
That's true. Yeah,
thousands,
that's true.
and so they're only going to see what it is to them. So you know, that's what I'm saying. Like there's so much information out there.
They kind of like are stuck within their, and maybe this isn't the greatest analogy, but stuck within their own bubble of information.
Because they're like, I don't know. They might see YouTube channels like our YouTube channels and see that stuff, but at the same time, I wonder if they're like, oh, those guys are just old mini truckers. We're the new mini truckers.
Maybe. I don't know. I'd be curious. I'd be curious to find out. Like, I don't know. Maybe this is like vain of me, but I'd like to think maybe. And this is not vain of me to the point where I get a lot of people who tell me that like, hey, your videos really inspire me to get out to shows and start working on my vehicle or get a vehicle, or I had a vehicle back in the day and now I have one. So I have heard that like in person, but I would like, the vain part of me would like to think that maybe we help with that, you know, like maybe inspire some of these guys to, like, guys rolling around in a static drop truck and he's like, yeah, this is cool, but being flat on the ground would be cooler.
Yeah. Or they just like the static drop stuff, because that is
that too.
That is the thing when it's
we're all sticking in our pocket. While we were there, me and Andrew were walking around filming, just checking stuff out, and I have two funny stories. One is there's a guy from Freaks who had a red extra cab S10 bodied, and so you see the dancing beds, and this is just my personal preference. I'm only talking from my personal preference. Like I like those dancing beds, but they don't really they don't really turn my gears like some things do. So they're cruising around. I'm like checking out, really into it, and then this body truck just comes gliding around the corner, you know. Yeah. And I'm just like, damn.
I'm the same way, because as much as I like stanced cars or fitment or any of that stuff, I could if a body truck comes around the corner barely touching the ground, like I'm just gonna be that's my focus.
Do you remember that Ford Ranger that was at Relaxed in the Northwest? It was a silver Ford Ranger.
Oh yeah, yep.
Dude, that thing was so cool. That was like a spaceship. And it was because like he kind of like did the thing that I like, which is like not a very loud exhaust. It was super quiet, and he's just gliding around the whole show. So so that was really cool. And then to give the bed dancing guy some props, another guy was cruising around dancing his bed and stuff, and I'm filming, and I just missed it. He came up, tilted his bed, and just started dragging the bed, and I'm like, that's fucking cool. Excuse me. Wow. And so I missed it though. I was like, so I caught up to him. I was like, hey, can you drag the bed a little bit? I mean, that was really cool. And he's like, he kind of like looked at me. He's like, I didn't do that on purpose. And I was like, oh. I said, well, do it again, because that was really cool. So he did it again. He started dragging this bed. So you'll see that in the video, the Doc Weiler video, because that is definitely going in the video.
Are you What other, like, so you're pretty busy. I saw you were doing shirts for Airlift.
I am, yeah. So I'm on that SEMA grind. That's my SEMA grind. A lot of people are out there building trucks and trying to finish up in the next couple weeks. And mine is, like I've said before, I work with these different companies, them getting ready for the show too. And I'm doing some stuff for Airlift. And,
so when is the Dockweiler video going to come out? Are you trying to?
I don't know. Honestly, to be completely honest with you, probably not for a while because I'm going to be jammed trying to get ready to leave on Wednesday to go to Last Resort, and then we'll go to Last. So probably not until after, I don't know. Probably after we get back from Last Resort and SEMA starts, and I'm all done with that. Yeah, and then I'll have some time to work on videos.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the Cruise to the Pines video done. It's freaking funny.
Oh, dude, I
so
can't
funny.
wait.
It is. Did you see the clip of Mike laughing with the GoPro out the window?
No.
And he was.
Oh wait. Oh no. Where it made its own little hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you can hear this, but you can hear Mike laugh because in the new GoPros have a screen on the front, so he can see in the GoPro the thing flapping.
You're
and
right.
And he's driving the limo, and he's.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know because
I'm trying to think when I'm gonna have that video done because I'll be in SoCal this weekend.
Yeah, what are you out here for?
Another diesel truck thing on Saturday.
Oh, cool.
Then
you should come out to Council Run.
I know, I saw
down this weekend.
Is it at Mojave Narrows?
No, well, it's Mojave Forks. So
that's the same part.
Yeah, where Rezo was at. Yep, yeah, exactly the same one. I'm not going to be there till later because softball, so I probably won't be there till later in the afternoon. But yeah, I'm going to go cruise over there, hang out, film some stuff.
Yeah,
again, not taking the 4Runner because it's still broke. Because I haven't same thing.
The fuel tank.
The fuel tank. I have had no time. Like, it sounds ridiculous. All it is this tiny little fuel leak that'll probably be very easy to fix, but no time. Making stuff.
You have time in November.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I have Dockweiler filmed already. We're heading to Louisiana next week, so I'll have all that Last Resort footage, and then the week after that is Chubbs. Is that the week after that? No, it is. It's the week after we get back. Well, it's 2 weeks after the Last Resort show, but by the time I get home the next week, it's the following weekend.
Yeah. It's kind of like it sucks being backed up, but at the same time, it's nice to know that you're going to have all this content to work with.
It is, and you know what? We said that, like, we were talking about this in a couple episodes ago about comments, and that dude's comment is getting to me still. Like, I can't shake it about my channel not having any like car show content on it. And so like
it wouldn't have had car show content on it anyways.
No, I know. Why I know because I wasn't going to any events, but now I'm going to an event.
Yeah, this is not stopping you from getting car show content.
No, I know. Yeah, no. That's the only thing that's stopping me is me.
Yeah. Well, not even that. You weren't at a car show before.
Well, that's true.
So essentially, and then this is also not stopping you from editing Dockweiler.
That's true.
So that guy's comment is completely irrelevant, and he has personal problems that he has to figure out. Yeah. Don't let his personal problems be your personal problems.
I know. It's tough. Hey, we are creators, but we are human as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, so I'm going to go again. That's that ebb and flow of all this stuff. So like earlier this year, 5 edits behind. I got to get all this stuff done. Then nothing. And now I'm like, oh man, I wish I had something to do. And then now I'm going to be like 3 or 4 edits behind.
Yeah, but that's where these videos fill in the void. So
yeah, that's what I thought. I thought at least it's something that's going up on the channel. People can, listen to it, consume it, at least know that we're doing stuff.
Who cares what people? Who cares? I know. Like I care what the audience thinks, but at the same time, there's part of the audience that I could care less about.
No, that's true. I mean, that's a very blunt way to put it.
Guy. Some guy comment. I get so many YouTube comments that I just got one about how I filmed this truck and it ruined the truck, or all this stuff, and it's just like,
yeah, we just gotta let it go.
Yeah, you just gotta let it go. Imagine if you were at a level like 3 steps above this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, say your videos you were uploading weekly and you were getting 250,000 to 1 million views per video. Imagine those comments.
Yeah, that would opens up to a lot more people
and a whole lot of hate.
Yeah,
and just a whole lot of craziness. So yeah, it doesn't matter. But what do you think? What do you think about attempting? I don't know if it would be a failed attempt or a successful attempt, but podcasting at Last Resort.
Like at the show.
Like we have our, because this is the thing with Last Resort is there's not like public that comes in. So it's just the show. So it's not like a crazy busy event, right? So our booths are going to be next to each other. If we had a table set up in the booth with the camera pointed at us and our microphones set up and the laptop recording, and then we could just have random people come up and sit down with us.
It's worth an experiment to try it out.
I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I remember something similar. Do you remember those two dudes from Florida? They had
the Best Damn Truck Show.
The Best Damn Truck Show. They used to do that. They were. I remember seeing them at Slamfest, and they were set up like that. So I really didn't have an opinion then because I really didn't know much about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I
but no,
think
it's definitely worth a try.
Yeah, and even if we don't do it, let's take 3 microphones let's take the 4 microphones. We take our computers anyways. We take our cameras anyways. We could literally set up. Huh?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, no, that's a cool idea.
It
I
would
like
be
it.
kind of funny just to imagine just random people coming to sit down. Hey, what's your name? What did you bring here? You got a picture of it? Let's see it. Hey, cool,
dude,
man.
like...
And then it's just not like a 20-minute conversation with people, just random people coming up.
I like it. I like it. I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea. We're going to do that.
So
by the time this video comes out, we will be just coming back. So hopefully that worked out well. We'll see.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. So if you're watching this, this is an idea of the weekend that was before us, and
so hopefully we'll see how it worked out, or just it was disastrous.
I know. Did you see YouTube is doing YouTube handles now, like Instagram?
I do. I just saw that email this morning. Yeah. But like it was funny because they're like you can change your handle or your like name, but we reserve this for you, custom life them all. Yeah, that's fine.
But it's have you been messing with YouTube Shorts at all?
I did. I put the React Spindle one on there. That got some good reaction to the React.
Hey,
yeah. So no, that was cool. Yeah, I want to start doing more of those. I told you, like, I know that you have your own opinion on this, and you could give it to me, and I'll listen. But when we were doing the Dockweiler cruise, I filmed vertically. So, and it actually worked out really well. Like what you say is like, yeah, you could just do that with your phone, but I'm already there filming and doing stuff and getting, just pop it up like this. And it was pretty easy to just get in there and flip them. And yeah,
no, it makes complete sense. At Cruise to the Pines, I did my filming and then I grabbed my phone and I walked around and I was like, okay, I'm going to do a reel of Oliver's truck and I'm going to do a reel of this Dodge.
I was going to ask you, was that Dodge one on your phone?
All on my phone.
It looked really good.
Same with Oliver's. Like, so you could literally just take your phone and kind of just go around the show and go, I like that truck. I'm going to do a reel of this truck. And
that's a good idea.
And it's just like boom, boom, boom. And then you get home and it's all done on the phone. But I was watching something, and you know who Mr. Beast is? He's like,
yeah. He's a pretty famous dude.
Yeah, he was like YouTube Shorts. He's like, YouTube is.
You sent me that.
Did I? Yeah, it's going to be where this is going to be. So I'm just like, So I'm. It's with this YouTube handle, like they're creating their own.
Oh yeah, they saw TikTok and they're like, we have to do that.
And
we got to do that.
Yeah, it's
TikTok is a beast, man. It's
I think
a beast by
TikTok
itself.
is a beast, but I don't think it's going to last very long.
Yeah,
I don't want to put a bunch of effort into TikTok. Like, this is just me personally, because if you notice, every trend on TikTok goes and comes. So it's like people put these efforts into these dances or into this certain thing, and then that trend is gone just as fast as it came in. So if you're not on that and you try to do that same trend 2 weeks after that trend's gone, it's done. So it's like, and TikTok is great, but I think the videos I think YouTube is more the platform that is more, I don't want to say like integrity or anything like that, but it just has a more solid foundation.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but we're kind of like born out of that platform anyway. Like, we make YouTube videos. We are very interactive with YouTube, so it makes sense to like transition that way. I heard an interesting thing today from a podcast that I watch, which is the Powerful Truth Angels. They had this guy on there. I didn't actually even know who the guy is. He's just some dude. But he was saying that like he was talking about his parents who are older, and they're proficient at, like, you know, they can navigate stuff. He's all like, yeah, I can tell them, you know, how to make an Instagram post, how to make an Instagram story, you know, do stuff like that. He's all, but TikTok, if you think about it, it's, and I noticed this when I started like messing around with TikTok, is it's a little difficult, you know, because the way he put it is it's basically minor video editing.
Yeah.
Like having to stitch stuff together, he's like, so you got to go over here. So like you can tell your parents like, hey, if you want to watch a story, you just click on this circle and then you can just scroll through and watch people's stories.
Yeah.
And then if you want to create a story, you just press the button and boom, you made a story. But with TikTok, you're like, you have to go over here and find the right sound, and then you have to, you know, put all your clips together and stitch them. And it's like minor video editing.
Yeah.
You know,
it is. And I mean, that's what I do with Instagram though. Like,
well, I mean, yeah, we do it from a different, like, I'm just talking about from like a casual person's perspective, you know.
Yeah.
It's easy for us because we're video editors. That's what we do, you know.
Yeah. Well, like the Oliver one, was cool because I didn't touch my Premiere at all. I went in and edited each video on the phone. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Saved it as a new video clip, and then I went into Instagram and just put the things together, like next, because I've been doing that a lot for the Stay Loaded stuff. So
it's having, you know, we say this many times, it's this whole evolution and you know, just going with it, trying to learn new things.
Yeah. So I think the YouTube Shorts is going to be something that is going to be real beneficial to the channels.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting. So that's all the notes that I really have.
Yeah, so you said you had someone ask a question. Where is this? Wait, how far are we into this episode? It's kind of weird because we took a little break.
So we're 53 minutes from when I started recording, but
I think we took about a 10-minute
break or something.
A little 10-minute break. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to start your camera over real quick or no?
Yeah. Let me start my camera. I'm actually going to adjust my exposure so the people watching right now, when I come back, it's actually going to be exposed a little better because we don't really, like, right now it's 6:30 at night, and we usually record these in the middle of the day. So I got this like nice backlighting, you know, through my window, but now I look like I'm in a cave.
Mine's completely dark. So my sun is gone, and yours, it's over on your side of the world now.
Yeah. And so like I look like I'm sitting in a cave. So.
All right, so we got a couple of questions. Yes, and this is the I don't know what we're calling it.
I know, I was about to say. So welcome to the nightcap, or I don't know.
Yeah. The end cap.
The end cap. I like that. The end cap.
Yeah, the end cap. What do you do at the end of the night? The last call? Something like that. We'll figure it out. It'll come to us.
Welcome to the end of the show. No.
Welcome to the question and answer part of the show where we
answer your questions.
Yeah.
So what you got?
All right. So one we kind of already answered, and that was... Sorry, I'm going through a million photos here, and I should be more prepared. I thought I transferred onto this laptop, and I can't find them on there. So it's from Robert Myers.
Okay.
Rab himself, 1989 on Instagram, and he said, question for you both. What's your thoughts on the Taquachi style of trucks? And we both...
So first of all, we don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah, Taquachi.
Taquachi,
yeah. Matt from our club in Houston told me about it.
Oh, really?
And I don't even know what style of truck that is.
So it's, from my gathering, it's a OBS or NBS Chevy truck, usually. So for our listeners who are not too savvy on the terminology, OBS refers to an old body style Chevy, which is an 88 to 98 body style. And the NBS, the new body style Chevys, are the latter ones after that. So it's usually one of those trucks, and it's usually pretty dumped. Like, they're pretty low. They static drop them to the point where they're doing like notches and tubs, and they're basically bagging these trucks, but not bagging them, just having them super low. Usually on a set of like reps, like some, rep 22 to 24 inch GM style wheels. So you're building this picture in your head like, that's a pretty aesthetically pleasing truck. But then they take them and they do the most insane things with them, which is basically burnout competitions, like spinning around. Yeah. Like it's basically, those are actually kind of more, and again, this is from what I gather. And again, in the comments, people can correct us. They can say, well, no, it's not like that. This is the way it is. This is simply like just what I gather. Yeah. So it's more of a bit of a controlled sideshow because they throw events like those style truck only events, and they have like pits with like concrete blocking around it and stuff like that. So they're like it's a little more controlled than the sideshows, but it still has that vibe where it's kind of like wild and like all this like craziness going on.
And a lot of them are super fast. If you ever watched the YouTube channel called On the Gas, those guys just came out to LA and did like a Houston versus LA and did some drag racing downtown
With trucks like that?
With trucks, yeah, like fast trucks. These guys that YouTube channel's huge, the On the Gas. They're giving away trucks. They just had one at Fat Fabs that they're building for SEMA. Yeah, anyways, they took their truck. I don't know how fast it is, but it's been on the Hoonigans, this versus that.
Oh,
it's
really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
I think twice now. And then they just took the truck from Houston to rep Houston to battle like downtown LA, the LA guys, and they beat them.
Oh, really?
But they're freaking fast. So yeah, I think it's cool. I think if you're into performance stuff like that,
yeah, no, I definitely think it's cool. Minus the craziness, like the sideshow type atmosphere. The trucks themselves, I think, are cool. You know, and of course, just like our scene, just like the mini truck scene or any scene, lowrider, call them lowriders, Volkswagens, mini trucks, you're going to have a spectrum of trucks. You're going to have like the trucks you're talking about, which are built correctly, nice, and then you have the other end of the spectrum when they're not so nice.
Yeah.
So but that's every single scene is like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like them. I like the trucks. I think they're cool. I like Chevys in general. Like you can't. I'm sorry to people because like now that we're kind of like I'm dabbling in this whole world of like C10s and Chevy onlys and stuff. I do got to say that Chevys just look good. Like any Chevy, you lower it, looks good. Ford is a little harder, like but Chevys.
It's Ford. You have to do a little bit of work to get them to look as good as a Chevy. A Chevy just looks good.
Even like Nissans, like my Titan. If you took a Silverado and dumped it on like a 4.6 drop on some nice wheels, clean. You take the Nissans, like a static drop, in my opinion, and I think you feel the same way. A static drop Titan is not, unless it's on the ground, it's not the same.
Same with the Tundra. Same with the Tundra, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless it's a standard cab. I like standard cab Tundras. But yeah, I don't know. Moving on.
Okay. So did he just ask us what we thought about that whole scene? So we answered that.
I think, we answered.
Yeah, we answered that. Okay.
Listen, if you're going to ask about our opinions, we're going to tell you our opinions, and they're just our opinions. But my favorite thing is my opinion.
That's a good way to put it. My favorite thing is my opinion. I don't know. I'm easily swayed though. Sometimes I think
I am too. I don't come off as easily swayed, but sometimes I'll like have a hard opinion, and then I realize that I'm only stating that opinion because I want it to be more right than this. But as I'm going through the explaining my opinion, I realize that my opinion might be wrong.
Right. And I think our listeners and viewers throughout this whole thing have probably noticed that. They're like, and that's why we always say, like, we'll go into something, this is what I think. They're like a hot take, and then at the other end, it comes out lukewarm.
We need to have like a little jingle for our question and answer and a name for it. We'll get to that. But we also need to like have a disclaimer at the beginning. So we don't have to keep on saying these are our opinions. The disclaimer, like, the following are opinions.
Do you remember
of Frank
when
and Brian?
Do you remember when Roulette used to do those things for like the bikini contests, and some of them were so funny, something like that.
And we could do it because you could do you can just write it out and then pay to have a voiceover. It's like $10 or something like that, and we can make it a man, a woman, however we want to.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, totally. All right, moving on.
Put that down. Moving on, but let's see. Disclaimer.
Write that down. Put a pin in it.
Disclaimer and a jingle. We need a jingle for the question. Okay, so we have Jesse B. Cruz.
Oh yeah, Jesse's great. He throws the Dream Big Drive Low show.
Yep, and then we also had Mad Rabbit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I talked to him a lot, and he's a cool dude.
Yeah, both of them asked about, and I think we're gonna go over on this, so we should probably put this in the next one. They both asked about like our opinions on the Ford Maverick and unibodies.
Oh, that's right. I think we should do a whole thing on that because I have some not so strong opinions, but I do have a controversial like on that, and I'll put that out there to let people think about it and stew on it, and then we'll get back to it. Yeah. I like the Honda Ridgeline. There, I said it. I like it. I think it looks cool. I think they.
Yeah, but they look like a Honda Civic truck, so you're wrong.
I know.
So,
no, the best description.
do you like Chevy Avalanches too?
No,
because they're the same thing.
I know it's
one's just
basically
bigger.
the same thing, bigger. Yeah, no, I get that, but no, Avalanches, no, I don't like. But I don't know, man. There's like those pilots, and then you mentioned Hoonigan earlier. They're building a Honda Ridgeline for SEMA with an F1 motor in it, a Honda F1 motor. So that's pretty cool. Write that down. Frank likes Ridgelines.
Frank is wrong.
Frank is wrong. No. Oh yeah. I was gonna say the most accurate description I have heard of those is two. It's either a Odyssey with the back cut off, a Honda Odyssey, or a Honda Pilot with the back cut off. Is basically what it is.
It is. We'll get into that. That's definitely a good topic to go down. The whole Ford Maverick.
Because like that opens up the new. I'm sorry.
Well, the new Nissan Frontiers. There's a new Toyota's coming out with a smaller truck.
Oh really? Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, no, that's a great one.
This question is from Jose, our buddy Jose Duarte.
Oh, Jose, thanks.
And
who's always like 4 episodes behind. So in 6 months when you listen to this.
He said, let's see. So this question might come up in someone's questions on your question and answers in an upcoming episode, but here it is since I'm behind. For your guys' business, what do you prefer shooting? Car shows that are on grass or pavement, cement, etc.?
Oh, that's a good question. I'll let you start because you do much more than I do.
I like shooting where the weather is nice.
Oh, that's a good point.
So
yeah.
I do like grass. Like Cruise to the Pines is amazing. But like if it rains, which it did, but the ground's a little bit different and it doesn't rain a lot. But like at LST, when it rains, it ruins the grass. So imagine being at LST filming and it all being asphalt. It would be amazing because the rain would not affect us as much as it does once that grass starts to break up into mud. So, I would prefer grass in the summer and asphalt in the winter.
For my opinion on it, like, I think it has to do with the overall, kind of what you're saying, like whether it's the overall vibe. Because like a parking lot show could be really cool as long as like the overall vibe is cool. Like Dockweiler is basically a parking lot show, but it's at the beach, so you get this like certain beach vibe. You can get some really cool B-roll shots of the beach. If it's on grass, like our show, that's like a vibe. So I really
how our show used to be. You mean?
Oh, yeah, how our show used to be.
Wah, wah, wah.
So I think it has a lot to do with vibe. Like I don't have a preference really, as long as everything's cool. The ride, and obviously like the number one thing is like the ride's got to be cool. If you go to an event and there's like, I'm not saying that there are events like that. I'm just saying that it could happen, that there could be events where the rides are kind of like,
where it's just a bunch of ridge lines. And you're like, this is the best event ever.
I'm in heaven. You know what? My dumb ass is probably going to end up with one of those.
No, you're not. They're like $50,000. If you're going to spend $50,000, you better get a Tundra.
That's true. Yeah. No, you're right.
That's my gripe with Ridgelines. There's still a gang of money they don't get good gas mileage and they don't look that good.
That's true. Oh, those are all
There's
good points.
no reason to get it. There's
stop. You got to save that for the other conversation.
We're going to go into a later one. Gosh, get me going on that.
Yeah. All right. So thanks, Jose. That was a pretty good question.
It was. Yeah, like our show, which I just dropped all the info.
That's right. Yeah, you did. Yeah. I got my room. Did you wait? Did you drop it yesterday or today? Today you were going to drop it.
Yesterday I dropped it.
To the public?
Yep.
Oh, I thought I booked my room this morning, I think. Or maybe that was, I don't know.
No,
man.
you booked you wrote on the club page yesterday you booked.
Oh my gosh. Do you see?
Or 2 days ago.
Do you see what's happening to me? I don't know what day it is anymore.
Imagine if you had a job.
I know, right? Like a room would actually probably be easier because you just go to that job
and then
it's like, hey, they're like, hey, get here this time and then F off at this time.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so which we've gotten. What's funny, and I didn't even realize this, is that downward view that I posted. I posted a photo of where the top of the parking structure is, and it says show, and then the lot next to it that says show, and people are like, so we're gonna have to walk down the ramp to the other lot, and I'm like, no, they're on the same level.
Yeah, because that road goes up like that.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Cool. So, well, yeah, we could say that because, I mean, that's pretty far in the future. So if you haven't gotten rooms yet, I would get on that pretty soon. There's the info on the club Instagram.
Yeah, I don't think I'm even going to make a Facebook event page anymore. I'm just going to, it's on the Instagram. So if you want any information about the Forbidden Show, it's FFF_show.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's
get
all the
book your
information's
rooms, because you said in the last episode, and it's great advice, is even if you are unsure you're going to go, book a room.
Yep.
Just book it, and then you can always cancel it and get your deposit back.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Always book a room. It's funny because I'll go through and like I booked. I've already got our room booked for LST, Mini Nats, Rolling in the Red Rocks, all this stuff. Just it's free to book.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
Free to book and free to cancel.
There you go.
So are you ready for Last Resort?
For that show, I'm ready. So like, I guess I'll give a little behind the scenes what I got going on. So we're leaving. It is currently Thursday, and we're leaving. I'm leaving the high desert, or I'm leaving SoCal on Wednesday to get to your place by Wednesday night, and we'll take off Thursday morning. So that's 4-ish days or whatever away. Yeah. So I'm splitting my SEMA workload between now and then. This is where it might get a little touchy, but it's gonna get done. Is when we get back, I have about 3 or 4 days before SEMA actually starts that I can finish up whatever I got going on. So for the show, I'm ready. Like all the inventory's made, all the reprints are done. RJ actually just finished the hats, so those turned out great. So I'll have hats, and then actually, funny enough, Doug just texted me and asked me about the stickers. So
I was just on the phone with him while he was making the drop stickers. So we'll have drop stickers.
Oh, too. I was gonna ask you. Yeah, right on. Cool. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So yeah, for the show, totally ready. The SEMA stuff might get a little tricky, but that's the whole SEMA thing anyway, right?
Yeah. Are you going to SEMA at all or no?
I'm probably going to, I'm not like going to SEMA. I'm just going to probably go drop these things off to Mike, you know?
Okay. Yeah. I'll be up there the 2 days before the Chubs. I'm going to go to SEMA probably Wednesday night, work Thursday, Friday, go to work Thursday, Friday, and then we're going to try to record a podcast Friday night there, right?
Mm-hmm. With our guest roulette.
With our guest roulette. Mm-hmm. And then I'm probably going to bounce on Saturday after the show.
Oh, okay.
We'll see. I don't know.
Right on. Well, cool. So is that any more questions, or is that the end? I think that's pretty. We'll save the questions and everything for.
Well, we'll save the Maverick Ridgeline thing because
we got to do some notes. We got to do some thinking. We got to have a plan to come in to have our minds totally changed.
Because this will get us through the next 2 Mondays, and then we'll record. If we can record at Last Resort, that would get us.
Well, I was thinking because when I get to your place on Wednesday night, we might as well just record an episode while I'm there.
I wonder if we could if we could record a partial episode there, then make it a partial episode at Last Resort. So they're not. So it's just one episode, but we start at my house. We're at Last Resort, and then I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
Cool idea. We'll kick around all sorts of ideas.
We could talk about the Ford Maverick Ridgeline thing if you're here. If you come.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah,
we do that.
Yeah,
depending on what time you get here.
Cool. Right on. All right. Well, cool. Well, that's this week's episode. Thanks for checking it out. Make sure you go to our websites, livelifecustom.com, grindertv.com. We always got stuff we're giving away. We'll see you next time. Later.
Yep. Thanks.